Before you drop hundreds of dollars on a red light therapy mask because some influencer said it changed their life, stop. I've tested multiple masks over the past year. One gave me severe acne and weeks of inflammation. Another I returned only to buy it again several months later because nothing else seemed to work. I also spent a ridiculous amount of time digging through research, trying to figure out if red light therapy actually works, or if it's just an expensive Halloween mask. Here's the thing, red light therapy is backed by real science, peer-reviewed studies, medical journals, legitimate data. But the way these masks are marketed, that's a whole other story. If you're about to drop hundreds of dollars on one of these, you need to hear this first. Because after going through this myself, I learned some very expensive lessons. Today, I'm sharing with you exactly what I wish I had known beforehand. Full disclosure, I am not a dermatologist or a professional device tester. I'm just a consumer like you who spent a lot of time and money and frustration figuring this out. And I want to share my honest experience with you so that you can make the best choice for yourself without wasting money or time. Let's find out if red light therapy masks are right for you. You can't always tell if a product is good before you buy it. There's a lot of marketing out there. There's a lot of products that look good, but you really can't know if they're actually good until you buy it. And for specs, impressive wavelengths doesn't always translate to impressive results. Really, the only way to know if you're going to have impressive results is to try the product out yourself, unfortunately. That's just the reality of it. I've tried masks that had super impressive specs and they did nothing for my skin or they destroyed it, where other ones maybe looked less impressive but ended up actually improving my skin texture. Don't buy a mask solely off of it having impressive specs. You're gonna have to look at the whole picture, the whole package. Most people usually give up too early. Remember, this isn't Botox. It's not an immediate injection. This is something that is a gradual change over time. It can be frustrating because you feel like you're not seeing any results, when really there are subtle changes being made to your face. The research shows that it takes 1 to 3 months to see visible results. That's actually quite a big range. And when I read that initially, I assumed that at 1 month, there was a good chance I would see some sort of a result if it was a good mask. And honestly, with all of the red masks I've tried, I've never seen results, like visible results, at 1 month. The problem is that most return policies aren't longer than 2 months. I think this makes it really challenging because when you try a mask out, the reality is that if you want to know whether or not that mask is going to work well, you're probably not going to be able to do it within that return window. It's just going to take a little more time. I really wish that these companies would have a 3-month return policy because 1 month, you're definitely not going to see results. 2 months, you might. But it's more likely that you're going to know for sure if it's working for you at the 3-month mark. The other thing is that you do have to be really consistent. Red light therapy mask cycles, depending on the brand, range between 3 minutes to 15. So that's going to be your time commitment. It doesn't sound like a lot, especially like even 15 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but it really can become a giant pain. From a working mama's perspective who works full time and does YouTube and takes care of my kids, it was hard to find that time in the day. I am currently using the Project E-Mask, which is only 3 minutes, and that's definitely more manageable. But even then, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I still gotta use my mask today. The first week, it may not seem that bad, but as you get into like the 4th week and the 5th week, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta wear the mask again today. It just, over time, it gets to be old. It is hard. It's harder than you think to find that time in the day. So just be aware of that beforehand. You don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a mask if you know that you're probably gonna, give up after a month, or you're gonna stop using it as often as you're supposed to. You won't see results then, and it will be a complete waste of money for you. The other thing that is going to impact whether or not you can find time in the day to use it is the little eye masks or eye goggles, whatever you call them, that they have to protect your eyes. They leave marks on your face. Every single mask I've tried, no mask is exempt from this issue. They will leave marks on your face. Now, they're not going to last all day. I would say they last maybe like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the mask. But that is kind of a challenge because you're supposed to use the mask when your face is clean, you don't have any skincare products on it. And the ideal time would be in the morning when you get out of the shower. But for me, I found myself not using it in the morning because I didn't want to go to work looking like I had extra wrinkles. So I ended up having to find time in the evening to do it. I would just, wash my face in the evening and do it before bed. So depending on your schedule, that may have an impact as to whether or not you're going to realistically use this product as much as you need to see results. FDA clearance equals safe, not effective. Big difference. That was one of the things that I misunderstood in the beginning. So just because a product is FDA cleared, that doesn't mean that it's going to be the best product on the market or that it's even going to be effective. It just means that it's safe. So, that's a good thing. It's not bad. Just understand that that is the minimum standard that it should meet. Like, they should all be FDA cleared because you want them to be safe. One common theme that I saw was that there is a debate between whether or not you should use red light therapy masks or red light therapy panels. I didn't realize this, but there are a lot of people out there who have the opinion that all red light therapy masks are garbage because they don't have that strong of an output. So I was seriously considering just getting a panel. Now the panels are a lot stronger and it's nice because they can actually treat your whole body. But they can be a pain because they're not portable. You have to stand next to them. You can get desktop versions, you can get tall ones for your wall, but if you travel a lot or something like that, you're not going to be able to take them with you. I wanted to point that out because that is something that you need to consider before buying a mask, is if you really want the mask or if you really want the panel. I went back to the Project E mask because I realized how much I valued the green and the blue light therapy on it. So ultimately, my decision point was, yes, although I have been looking for a red light therapy mask specifically to deal with wrinkles, I realized how much I valued and needed that green light and that blue light. This was the light therapy that I never knew I needed. I'm really glad that I tried it the first time because I never honestly would have even thought to buy something with green light therapy. That's not something that's usually published as much as the red light, right? Everybody wants red light. Everybody wants to get rid of your wrinkles. So I came to that kind of decision point where I decided that even if the red light therapy didn't work, I was okay with that. I've been using it for 4.5 months and I'm definitely significantly happier this time. I will do a full review. I'm trying to give it a little bit longer, but I'm definitely way more happy this time than I was the first time. For you at home, your decision point is going to be whether or not you 100% need that red light therapy, or do you think that you may possibly want green light or blue light? If it wasn't for the green light or the blue light, I would use a panel. So I really feel like that is an important decision for you to make at home. Do you 100% only need the red light therapy? If you 100% know that you just want the best red light therapy, I would look at a panel before deciding on getting a mask because you might be happier with a panel. Reviews, a lot of them are paid, gifted, or affiliate driven. So I am telling you this as someone who does YouTube, who actually has a positive view of sponsored videos. I actually like watching them because it's so much more fun to watch a video than read the specs on something. Have somebody else demonstrate how to use it and tell you like the good qualities. But as a consumer, I know that sometimes you can watch a sponsored video and get the feeling like maybe that person doesn't really like the product. It's always a question in your mind, like, do they really like the product as much as they are saying in the video? The challenge is that a lot of these mask reviews are in that category. And I always look at both. I will look at the sponsored reviews, and then I will try to find a couple that are not sponsored just to get more of a balanced approach. That is something everyone should be doing. You do want to make sure that you're at least watching a couple that are just from people who cared enough about the product and their experiences with it that they wanted to share that with you. The real signs you should be looking for are gonna come after you buy it. The most important thing is gonna be, how does the company handle problems? When you reach out to them and you need help with something, how do they respond? How do they treat you? That is so important. Just knowing that if you spend this kind of money on a product and there's issues, that the company will support you and they will stand behind the product and they will help you find a solution. You have to have that, especially with something as expensive as a red light therapy mask. Now, it is going to be hard to know how a company handles problems until you actually buy the mask and you have a problem, but it never hurts to email a company before you buy a mask and maybe ask questions, get clarifications on some things, and see how they respond, and at least get an initial feel that way for how the company handles and deals with customers. This market is so competitive, so when you do see a negative review, take it seriously. Really think about it. If this was true, how would that make you feel? And the other thing, and this is probably even more important than reading negative reviews, is see how the company responds to those reviews. How a company responds to a negative review, that is way more telling than thousands of glowing reviews about how awesome a product is. The way the company deals with that small handful of customers that wasn't happy, that's going to tell you a lot about the company's values and their integrity and how they're going to treat you if you do have a problem. And the last thing that you need to do, and this is the utmost important thing you can do, this is your failsafe. When you decide on a mask and you purchase it, use a payment method that you know will get you your money back if there's any issues, whether it's a specific bank account that really values its customers, or if it's a good credit card. That way, if all else fails, at least you know you can return it and get your money back, even if the company doesn't treat you like they should. I learned this the hard way. I had an approved return, mailed it back, and 2 days before it was scheduled to be delivered, the company canceled the approval, said they weren't giving me my money back or the mask. I think this is probably the thing you can do the most to protect yourself. I'm gonna stomp foot on this one. Trust me, learn from my mistakes, okay? Do this to protect yourself. That's everything I wish someone had told me before buying my first mask. Red light therapy is a real science. It does work. But the consumer market is a minefield. If you try red light therapy, definitely stick with it for a few months. No matter what brand you pick, I really hope you love your results. If you see me sitting here with LEDs strapped to my face, looking like a horror movie villain at a rave, just know it's all in the name of science, so I can help you decide whether or not it's worth your money.